What is Canuxploitation? Well, let's take a look at the two words that make up this portmanteau. The first word, Canuck, is simply a term referring to Canadians, like Yankee is to Americans. It comes from a World War I comic book called Johnny Canuck, about a Canadian soldier in the war. The second word, exploitation, which by definition is the action or fact of treating someone unfairly in order to benefit from their work. In this case, exploitation is referring to exploitation films, and according to Wikipedia, an exploitation film is a film that attempts to succeed financially by exploiting current trends, niche genres, and lurid content. So with that being said, what is Canuxploitation? Well, simply put, it's a B-movie made in Canada, and thanks to the Canadian government it became very cost-effective to produce these films in the Great White North. You see, in 1974, the Government of Canada introduced new regulations to jumpstart the then underdeveloped Canadian film industry, increasing the capital cost allowance tax credit from 60% to 100%. Now, this meant that anyone who put money into Canadian film could defer paying taxes on their investment until the profits started rolling in. So if you invested $1 million, you wouldn't have to pay any tax on that million until the film made back more than your investment. The new regulations also had an unforeseen side effect though. There was a sudden rush of low-budget horror and genre films being made. These films were intended as pure tax shelters, since they were designed not to turn a conventional profit. So the new tax laws did create a boom in production, but some rather enterprising producers abused these laws and abused the rules of what made a film Canadian. See, to take advantage of the tax break, a film had to be shot in Canada and 2/3 of the cast had to be Canadian. So what ended up happening was, they would hire a known American actor as the lead, fill out the rest of the cast with Canadians, shoot in a Canadian city, but make sure to get enough establishing shots of American flags so the audience would be fooled into thinking it's Anytown, USA, and there, boom, you have yourself a Canadian film, with only scattered Canadian accents popping up to give away the illusion.
You're a friend to Claire Hassan? Yeah, I've been taking her out. Taking her out.
That being said, some incredible filmmakers got their start in the tax shelter era, like Bob Clark, who's probably best known for A Christmas Story.
No, I want an officer right undercover and I shoot you and a my rifle.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
But before that, he directed what is often called one of the first slasher films, Black Christmas. One of Canada's most famous directors, David Cronenberg, also got his start in the tax shelter era, making classic films like Videodrome, Scanners, and The Brood, just to name a few. Even the man behind Stripes, Ghostbusters, and Kindergarten Cop,
it's not a tumor,
Ivan Reitman, got his start in Canada with a gory little comedy called Cannibal Girls.
Cannibal Girls. Remember, in order not to offend or horrify those in the audience of a squeamish or prudish disposition, the sound of a bell in the theater will warn you when to close your eyes or turn away so that you may avoid witnessing certain scenes of an especially erotic or gruesome nature.
The tax shelter period ended in 1982, but Canada continued to produce some great genre films, and still do to this day, like the incredible New Zealand co-production Turbo Kid, and the over-the-top, intensely entertaining Wolf Cop. Canuxploitation seems to be alive and well. This is Canadian Cult Cinema.